Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is John with Addicted to Fishing. Today I want to go over tackle boxes. Something I just mentioned in another video. Guys, you really want to not skimp out on tackle boxes. I know there's several different kinds out there. Let me open up a couple here. Put my tackle bag, get a couple out. I'll go over a few with you. And we'll talk about the benefits of them and why I think you should have them. Okay, the first one I have, and I'll go over these two kind of in the same. These are probably one of the better style boxes you can have. These one latch system. This one's the KastKing. It's just got that simple one long latch. The difference between this and a Plano Edge is this part folds over here, then the lid folds up, exposing all your tackle. Got a lot of different dividers, so you can kind of mix it up the way you want. It does have a 9-inch ruler across the top. Not sure if that really matters. Along that same line are the Plano Edge. I like these more of the flex box than anything. But again, it's got that one latch system. I'll show you the difference between it and the KastKing. Remember, on the KastKing, that one latch was on this side. It folded out, exposing the lid without the latch. This one has the latch on it, but this is more of a flex box. Keep some of my cranks in it. Some bigger swim bait stuff, spin heads, stuff for out on the water. Now, these are all my 3600s. My 3700s really are not that much different. I would say if you can't spend the money on either one of those, the next best thing is this type of box. There's a few different styles of these. You could even find these at Harbor Freight. If you don't want the Plano, and as a matter of fact, this one might be a Harbor Freight. But the reason why I like these guys and those others is they are watertight. You can see it's got the blue seal all the way around it. This one's got multiple adjustments. This one I used to carry some spinner baits over here when I'm just wanting one or two spinner baits. I do have several extra boxes that if I need to make up a little quick day box, I will. But this is probably my #1 option if you're on a budget to use something with that waterproof seal. Guys, you can find these on Marketplace, eBay, places like that to try to save you a couple of bucks. And then probably my least favorite, but I do have several of them, and I keep them here in the tackle room, or just the regular old Plano boxes. It doesn't really matter what brand you use. But these don't have that waterproof seal, so I like making these up with some backup lures that I'm not taking out on the water for the day. I can show you real quick. Like this one. You know, it's not a watertight box, but it has a lot of my crappie gear in it. Another one with a lot of crappie gear in it. So you kind of get the picture there. I like to use the waterproof boxes for when I know I'm going out. That way I keep all my gear from getting rusted. And then I hold my big 3700 boxes. This is a waterproof 3700 box. I won't be buying any more waterproof boxes than a 3700. I don't believe it. I don't even think I need any more 3600 boxes. I've got a pile. I don't know if we can see them back here, but I got a pile of 3700s. I got a pile of 3600 boxes, pretty much set on boxes. Most of those back there is when I was younger and I used to keep soft plastics in my box, and I've learned that that's just terrible in my opinion for soft plastics. But again, this one, I'm not using if I use a regular over the shoulder tackle bag, I could throw these 36 or 3700 size bags in. But once I picked up that backpack. I hardly use any of my over-the-shoulder bags anymore. Let's see, what else can we talk about with the tackle bags? I've got these little two-sided boxes that I like. They're not waterproof, but I can throw in a, on a little day trip. I can put a couple lures in them, take them down to the river with me. They fit pretty nicely in like a jacket pocket. If I know I'm going out, I'm gonna be around some wet and rainy conditions, I do have the little, I think these are the 3500 series, 3550, 4200, something like that. They do have the gasket in it, so I like those. I've got 2 of these. But yeah, that's pretty much it on tackle boxes. I do have a couple different style of boxes, like a Plano Deep. Got the Plano Edge jig chatterbait box, and I do have the Plano Edge terminal tackle box, which I don't really take out. Again, I'm using my 3600 series bag or boxes for that. But the big thing I want to get across here, guys, is if I'm not planning on spending a lot of money and you're on a real good, or you're on a pretty tight budget, these are definitely what I would recommend buying. These with the watertight seal, especially if you're going out fishing. For storage in a house, I can even show you back here behind me. I've got some just Walmart shoe boxes. I keep extra bulk plastics in. They're all through here. Boxes that I keep line in. Boxes I keep towels in. I do like these Plano totes, if you will. I can load up one of those with a lot of these 3700 size boxes, throw them in there, and then when I go somewhere, if I'm traveling, an hour or more, I definitely want to keep some extra baits in the car. And that's an easy way to do it. Just load up one of those. I can throw in rain gear, my waders, towels, hats, extra shoes, things of that nature. Put it all in one box, take it out, throw it in the car, grab a couple rod and reels, grab my tackle bag, go. The good thing with that is, you just never know what kind of conditions you might be faced with, especially when I'm here and the weather could be 55 degrees, water stained. Had an hour out and get someplace in the water, clear. Could be the same temperature, but I'm going to want a different color bait, so I definitely keep some extras on hand. Plus I have some, you just have extras. I'd say 80% of the time I never need to get into that box, but I like to have it just in case. I'll keep extra pliers, a few extra things with me. Plus if I go somewhere and I'm bass fishing and I feel like crappie fishing for a little bit, I can have some crappie baits in there and I can come back and swap them out my backpack real quick. It just saves me time and energy, and the main thing is saving time. I don't have to drive all the way home to switch fishing techniques. I also utilize some of these black bins for different things. You can see I store all my big soft swim baits, and these are just on a paper clip, but I can keep them all straight. I don't have to worry about these tails bending. Which leads me to storing plastics in their original package, and the reason why I do that. One, it saves me a lot of space inside my tackle bag. I can fit a lot more soft plastics in my bag if they're in the original packaging. Let me see if I can find something here. Well, first of all, like the Z-Man stuff, you can't mix these guys with any other plastic, so I never ever take them out of that bag. One of the key things and critical things that a lot of people don't pay attention to when they start putting soft plastics in bags, or I mean tackle trays, is they eventually will warp the trays. Plus, you can't keep the bait straight like on a. These are Hazedong. If you can't keep those Hazedongs in their original package to keep these tails straight, there's no point in having them. This is like a spark shad, but you can see I keep it straight in that, and I keep these tails super straight. I can't stress that enough, guys. Keeping your tails as straight as possible. I mean, that's just critical. Like even these streaks, I can keep them straight. My chatter spikes, keep those tails straight. Yeah, sometimes you can fix your soft plastics by boiling them in water, straighten them back out. But there's, I'll use this. This is made by a little different company, more of a private bait maker. But this is a chatterbait trailer. But anyway, you can see this dude's straight as can be. Now, if you get a kink in that tail or kink in the body, the bait's really not going to work the way it's designed to work. So keeping things in their original package really helps out with that. So even these little, what size are these? 51 millimeter. I think they're like a 2-inch. Little straight tail minnow. Keeping things like that so I can keep them as straight as possible is really key. Plus, in my backpack, little packs like that, I can shove 5 different types of soft plastics in one of the side compartments, versus, even if I was using these, you can only, like this one, I could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 different soft plastics, and then I'm done on that one tray. In my backpack, I can hold about 4 or 5 different 3600 size trays, but that really just limits what I want to do. I don't ever mix, or try not to mix, my hard baits with my soft plastics. If I'm just going out somewhere and I want to just take one box, yeah, I could do that, and I definitely would. Take a empty 3600, put some soft plastics in that I know, if I'm going one place and I'm only bass fishing, and I'm gonna throw, a small crank and a spinner bait and a chatter bait, and then have like 3 different trailers, easy peasy. But I don't ever mix boxes for long time storage with hard baits and soft baits. Even this is some different swim baits that I keep here. This is all soft plastic swim baits, and I don't mix the hard baits with the soft baits. Never have, never will. It's just better business for you guys to kind of do it that way. It keeps your again, it keeps your soft baits straight, and it keeps your soft baits and your hard baits from being mixed. Frogs, I kind of do the same thing. Even if I'm going out on a pond, I'll throw my frogs in a little baggie, and I just save bags. One thing I do with my frogs when I store them is I store them with some baby powder, and that keeps all my legs from sticking and going bad. No, you're not going to hurt anything. Just dip the frog before you start using it. Keep all my terminal tackle separate. And I have all kinds of little different boxes that I make up. Like I said, the little 3400, 3500 series, I like these waterproof ones. So this is a panfish box. Got different floats, hooks, sinkers. It's everything I would need right here to go out and do some pan fishing. If I'm catching crappie or catching bluegill, it's a great box for that. Again, I like that waterproof box. But if I needed, and I have boxes with just hooks and sinkers. I'll throw that in a shoulder strap box. I may not take it with me, but again, if I'm going out on the water, I can quickly take this little 3500 series box, load it up with some panfish gear, and that doesn't take that much. And it weighs a few pounds. I can carry this right down to the water, and I don't have to have a ton of different gear. That's really if I'm fishing with live bait, you know, whether it's leeches, minnows, chubs, or some kind of worm, usually red worms or wax worms, and I'm pan fishing. But anyway, guys, it's just a quick video on how I like to store my tackle and the reasons behind it. Again, if you're on a budget, and I get it, guys, we're all on a budget. That's the way I like to go. Like I said, this one here, I definitely know this is not a Plano. This is a box from Harbor Freight and Tool. You can go to Harbor Freight. You can buy these singly. I think they even sell a multi-pack maybe. But these are fairly inexpensive at Harbor Freight. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them at Bass Pro. You can get them at Academy. You can get them just about anywhere. And I'd say these are probably about $5. Some people may not think $5 is worth that investment, but it truly is when you get that waterproof seal. Again, that's really, I can't stress that enough, guys. The one thing to keep in mind with this, and I'll stress this, is you're going out and you're spending whatever. We'll say you spend $25 on terminal tackle. You know, and I'm just gonna pull out a couple things right quick. I don't know if I have, this one's empty, but we'll say you picked up this thing of worm sinkers, and you picked up a pack like this of hooks, some different split shots. You could leave them in these bags too. I usually don't, because I don't want to mess with the bag unless I'm using my little bag or my little 3500 series box. But if you go out and you spend $25 on some terminal tackle, the last thing you want to do is be out on the water with a box like this, or one of the fold-up tackle boxes. I get it, I've been there, I've done it. You can see I've had these, but again, these are what I use at the house to store excess baits in. But the last thing you want to do, guys, is spend the money. You know, I can even use this box. You know, say I've got $100 worth of baits here. I keep them in a waterproof box because I don't want the rust. Once a hook gets rusted, it'll spread through your box really quick. So I like to protect that investment. To me, if I don't have the money and I can pick up one of these $5 boxes, $6 boxes, I know that I've got that waterproof seal. So if I'm out fishing, I don't have to worry about water getting in the box. I don't have to worry about my baits rusting. A lot of times what I'll do too, guys, and I got one hanging here. So a lipless crankbait here. I use that to make sure that I'm not putting a wet bait back in my box. I don't want that water, I don't want that moisture around. Keep some of these little baggies. You can buy these at Walmart. You can buy 100 of them for, I don't know, $5, $10. It's worth the investment to keep the rust out of your box. You know, again, you don't want to have $100 worth of tackle in a box, throw in wet baits. You don't look at it, you know, maybe it's your last trip out. You use 4 or 5 baits. You didn't let them dry. You throw them in a box. Come spring, you go to get out on the water. You're changing out all these hooks on different types of crankbaits. Not saying that's necessarily a bad thing to change out your hooks, but changing out the hooks just because you're not taking the extra couple of bucks to make the investment. You know, and I'm just hypothetically speaking here. If this is a $3 box, and this is a $5 box, I'm spending the extra $2 to protect my gear. Yeah, I've got gear that's 30 years old. I've got 30-year-old hooks that have never, I don't have rust on them. And it's because of the waterproof boxes. Some of those You know, they were never out in a boat or never out in my backpack, but, you know, stuff that these boxes have come out, I put stuff in them and I just forget about it. You know, if I'm flipping or pitching or Texas rigging, you know, I can put my hook on. I decide that I'm done flipping and pitching or dragging a Texas worm, Texas rig. I don't have a rod real close to show you the setup, but you know, if I'm using a technique specific rod, and you know, I'm going from a Texas rig to a chatterbait, 2 different rods that I use. I can leave my Texas rig on, let it dry out. I always make sure stuff gets dried out before I put it back in my waterproof box. This box is great for when it starts to rain. You know, you put on a rain suit, keep your gear nice. Guys, trust me, it makes a huge difference. Huge difference. Anybody that's been out there for a while, and they know how to protect their investments, are using these waterproof boxes. You don't have to go to a Plano Edge. This has got the water wicking system. It does have a waterproof seal around it. You know, and I wouldn't get most of those Plano Edge boxes if I didn't find them on a good deal. But yeah, guys, that's just what I do to keep my baits in great fishing condition. And you know, if you have any ideas or any suggestions, feel free to put them out there. There's a ton of different tackle storage systems out there. Bass Mafia, Lure Lock. There's quite a few of them out there, so I'm not just suggesting the Plano boxes. Or I gotta remember where it is. You can see the difference in the latch. This is a Harbor Freight. It's got that same triple latch, and this is the Plano. You see the Plano's got more of a rounded, where these have more of a kind of a straight edge. They're not rounded, but they work just these two. If it was the same latch on them, they weren't marked Plano, I would never know the difference in them. Plain and simple. These guys work great. You can take your box, put it down in water, pull this out. There won't be water inside the box. So anyway, guys, that's a real quick tip on tackle storage. Again, please just spend the extra couple of dollars to protect your investment. Nothing like having $100 worth of hard baits, spinner baits, buzz baits, hooks, sinkers. Put them in a cheap box, store them away for the winter, and come in spring, you're throwing out all your packs of hooks and going out and buying new ones. It's not really fishing on a budget. You know, spend the extra couple dollars, you're still in a budget. You can find those on Facebook Marketplace. You can find those on eBay. Again, Harbor Freight and Tools is a good place to pick them up. Sometimes I find them at Tractor Supply. Anytime I see those and when they were cheap, that's how I picked them up. That's how I ended up with several boxes. But anyway, guys, just take that extra couple dollars, invest that to protect your gear. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell to notify when I'm going to put out another video. Like, comment, share. Give me your feedback and your thoughts on my tackle system. Tell me what you're doing. And until the next one, I'll see you. Thanks, guys.